My name is Tim-Phillis. I'm a graduate of the General Engineering Department in December 1994. So I've been out in the workforce for about 14 years. Have done a variety of jobs, but three primary tasks being sales engineer for a distribution company, a product development engineer going from research and development up to project management, and then now I'm a senior engineer providing technical support and technical leadership for an engineering team.
Okay. So can you go in a little bit more depth about your first job?
It was, I found my first job actually through the alumni network. It turned out that flipping through the book, there was a GE alum that was living in Rock Island, which is Illinois, where I live. And so I just called him up one day and said, do you mind if I come down and chat with you and see what you're about? And it turned out that at that time he had a need. He was bringing in a new product line for an industrial distribution company, and the manufacturer of the product line required degreed engineers to be on staff to do the sales and support and system specification and things like that. So I came in at the right time, and that was what we did. So for 3 years was doing a lot of sales support, a lot of travel, having to do customer relations, having to sell the product, and then turning around and doing the engineering work to design the system, and then also supervising the installation and startup and answering questions and things like that. So I had to wear many different hats for the first 3 years or so, and felt that this department and this curriculum really gave me the tools to be able to multitask and do those things.
Okay. As far as multitasking, would you say you got that more out of your courses, et cetera, or like the fact that you had to time manage based on like maybe RSOs that you're involved in, et cetera?
Right. I would say it was a little bit of both. Some of it was learning, balancing the different course schedules and course requirements and whatnot. I was also involved in ISGE, going from just a participant to president the last semester that I was here. So a combination of outside activities as well as the coursework to teach those time management and how to shift between the various types of tasks. With the different curriculum that we have, sometimes in one semester you've got structural design, but then you've also got an English class, and then you've got a math class, something else. So you're wearing different hats over the course of the semester. That it really teaches you those types of skills because that's really what you need when you're in the workforce.
First job. So how did you get to where you are right now?
After 3 years of the sales side of it, decided that it really wasn't for me ultimately, and a new opportunity came up to get into product design and development. So jumped at the opportunity, left that company, went and did that for 6 years, which was terrific. It was probably the best engineering experience that I had, because for this particular company, as the design engineer for a project or for a product, you were responsible for the entire engineering cycle, from designing to running the design review meetings, working with suppliers, working with manufacturing to get it built. Over the course of the product build, doing first part inspections as they came into the door, doing supplier quality audits, would stretch out and do ISO work instructions, things like that concerned it. As we were looking at new technologies, working with technicians to do prototyping and build test setups and things like that. So it was a very challenging position, and probably I could have very comfortably done that the rest of my career. But as things go, a new opportunity came up with a kind of a startup company, which is where I'm at now. And it was a different opportunity, a different way to approach engineering problems. So we've been doing that for about 4 years now, and that's had its own challenges, but it's been very exciting being part of a startup that's now been sold, and now we're part of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So it's really exciting.
Okay. And how would you say your University of Illinois degree has prepared you for your work that you've been doing? Is there like something that stands out in your coursework? Do you believe there's something that can be changed that maybe you weren't prepared for?
Yeah. I think the basic coursework is pretty good, in that it's not too specific, because in the workforce, or at least with my experience, you have to be able to do many different things to be flexible, to adapt to changing work environments, because what you do a year ago may not work today, as business climates change and things like that. So I think our department's flexibility and touching on several different fields of study was best prepared me for the career that I've had, and has allowed me to adapt and to take on new responsibilities and take on new types of work.
And you're of course familiar with iFoundry, so
Yep.
what are your general thoughts about iFoundry? Suggestions, anything?
I think the basic premise of iFoundry is brilliant, because I think it's getting to teaching students how the best way to be prepared for the real world. That it's not just the narrow engineering curriculum, or it's not just the narrow mathematics curriculum or whatever. That in the workforce and in life, you have to have all these different pieces to work together. You've got to be able to do a little bit of design, but also be able to communicate. You've got to be able to write. You've got to be able to play well with others. But you've got to be able to do basic mathematics and things like that. So I think the concept of a broad-based type of curriculum, using the new tools that are coming online, things like YouTube and some of these other communication methods to reach students, I think is brilliant and needs to keep going on, because that's how it's going to be in the future. The old methods and sitting in a lecture hall with 300 of your closest friends, that's just not going to reach kids and reach new students anymore. So we've got to adapt, and education has got to change, and I think that iFoundry is definitely a positive step.